Well, in case you're wondering, the now Los Angeles Chargers are actually my NFL team. I still prefer them as the San Diego Chargers, but I'll show you my lightning bolt here, and this will lead into my next personal vlog, number 23. This is definitely a hotly debated, especially south of the border. Should Super Bowl Monday be a holiday here? And that's what I'm going to talk about here. Is that Super Bowl Sunday is definitely one of the biggest events of the year. That's the understatement of the century here. But with millions of people watching Super Bowl, U.S., Canada, and worldwide, and possibly over 1 billion people watch the game. But never really always seems to happen, especially south of the border here. Is that even up here in Canada? Is that a lot of people after they taken the game, enjoy some goodies, finger food, deep fried food, and heavily alcoholic beverages here, and it all happens on Sunday evening because the game has to be played, much later than Sunday than any other teams. But eventually, when you factor it all in, people are definitely not going to feel like themselves on Monday here, and I almost had a proponent thinking that it should almost be considered a holiday here because there's a lot of numbers backing it up. Productivity goes down, and hurts the economy a little just on that day because people are either calling in sick or not in, or when they do come in, they show up late and they're not quite themselves here. I mean, still, if you're on the western side of the country here, the game's not as late here. But if you're on the eastern side of the continent, it's definitely a late night because the game kickoff starts, I'm in Mountain Town, so it's 4 p.m. or we're talking about 6 p.m. Eastern time, and plus I have to be up at 4 or 5 in the morning for work, so it's already a late night for me in this side of the continent here. But if you were definitely on the eastern side of the continent, it's definitely much later. And even if you work banker's hours here, because you got the extracurriculars with the player deductions and the pregame show and the national anthem, and then of course you got all the commercials, which that also seems to be a thing that a lot of people watch it for that. Well, I actually watch it for the game itself, and we at the CRTC, they always generally block out the American feed some years, and so I get inundated with the same local ad 50 times or TV show 50 times, but I don't care about. Or there was this joke here back in 2010 that CTV broadcasts the Super Bowl up here in Canada. The joke there that year is we didn't know that CTV was going to broadcast the Vancouver 2010 Winter Olympics at the time, because every freaking commercial break you always have to see that promo and that, and eventually people got turn it up. But that's a different rant for another time here. But with the halftime show, and then once the game's over and all the extra festivities here, and especially if you're in those cities that were a part of the Super Bowl, you could potentially be out past midnight, and then you're trying to rush to get home to go to work, and you're not feeling well, or maybe you'll feel a little woozy here. But if they want this game to be played when they do on a Sunday night, you're never gonna play it on a Saturday night now because all the prime time, and people are gonna say, well, that's gonna interfere with Saturday Night Live. And I do remember the Super Bowl was played earlier in the day, but now it seems like they found that prime sweet spot because it's later in the day where everything is closed, and it's like, well, you're inside anyway, what else are you going to do? So it's all about maximizing profits here. But then you're thinking, if people aren't as productive the next day, maybe it should almost be time to consider making it a holiday or unofficial holiday. I think eventually Black Friday in the States eventually came to that because it was the day after Thanksgiving. And up here in Canada, Thanksgiving falls on a Monday here, but I know more people that have dinner on Sunday or maybe even on Saturday because it's like, well, we're going to gorge and spend time together, and it's like, then we'll have the Monday off to recover. But that's what I say, there's a lot of people that call in sick on Super Bowl Monday, and I know a couple years ago, Heinz Corporation in the States, they call it Monday. I think, yeah, the Heinz office, the big one in Chicago, Illinois, and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania there, instead of spending millions on, on a cheesy Super Bowl ad that may or may not work and get rehashed on, especially now with YouTube. These days you can watch any Super Bowl commercial, it seems like, if you dig hard enough. Especially the older ones, but the more recent ones. But they decided to actually, give their employees the day off and, try to get signatures to send to Congress. But that failed there. But, Super Bowl Mondays also seem to be nicknamed as Super Sick Monday because of all the people that, take the day off. But, you definitely won't be liked in the office if you suddenly called like a surprise meeting on a Monday after the Super Bowl. I mean, it's different if you have like a regular production meeting with your team leaders and have your powwow to decide what's going on for the week ahead. But, we're talking about like surprise meetings, or they should, if you're not going to get the day off, or can't take the day off, hopefully you can able to maybe take it easier. But I am definitely one of those people that think that it should be a holiday here, just because, people are, and it seems like even more now, people are, more sleep deprived and overworked and underpaid more than ever before. So that's why it seems to become more of a issue now that we're more civilized. And that's the thing. It probably should be considered a holiday, considering enough people that, become the masses that either take the day off or don't come in, or when they do come in, they're not quite themselves. Excuse me. But yeah, what do you think? You can say in the comments below. Should Super Bowl Monday be considered a holiday, or if they're not ever going to move the game to either play it Saturday night or earlier in the day, so even if you're on the East Coast, it won't be super late when you get home. For when it comes to Grey Cup, for me, I always take Monday off anyway because I know I'm going to be taking in the Grey Cup, but that's usually also my travel day to get back when I go out of town for the Grey Cup. So it's like there's no way I could be able to go to the Grey Cup and, be back home in time to work on Monday. I definitely wouldn't be in shape for that anyway. And the game's here in Calgary this year, and I'll be taking Monday off because I will be up late. But, I always take Grey Cup Monday off because it's my travel day to get back home. So, but that's a day that I always take off. And there's no debate here, but a lot of people watch the Grey Cup too, and they might get that on a smaller scale up in Canada too. But, it's one of the more watched events of the year and biggest event of the year. You can debate about talking about it at work the next day, but, that's something to debate about here. But anyway, if you enjoy everything I do on my YouTube channel, just make sure you like, subscribe, and maybe one of these years I'll be able to show my lightning bolt and finally enjoy my Chargers winning the Super Bowl. And, I think they might be almost there, but it's just the damn Patriots. They always seem to ruin the dream. And during the Philip Rivers era here, they snuffed out the lightning bolt 3 times in the Philip Rivers era. But who knows? Maybe one of these years I'll have a year where I'll get to really enjoy a Super Bowl win. But till then, just have to follow it every other year. So I'll see you in the next video.